Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I am your humble host, Ant, and this week we're going to be taking a look at a box set that was just released from one of the 80s greatest frontmen, David Lee Roth. Yes, the people over at Warner Music, Rhino Records, they're doing some fantastic stuff with re-releasing classic albums. We're going to take a look at that and a few other things. Before we jump into all the music stuff, got a little music news as well. So before we even do that, of course, I'm going to do my annual weekly begging and thanking. So first off, thank you for everybody that tunes into this channel week in, week out faithfully. Really do appreciate you. I'm glad that you're along for the ride, and I hope you enjoy the content that I continue to produce. That being said, if you're new here, if you dig what you see, subscribe, click like, drop a comment. If you don't like what you see, drop a comment. Is there something you'd like to see me do? It's like, I know I have upcoming stuff, gonna do something on Tom Petty. I'm gathering all my stuff together, my thoughts for that one, and I'm gonna do a look at Tom Petty's career. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, one of my favorites, and other stuff coming up as well. We got Record Store Day 2025, right? Wow, 2025. That is a monster list, especially if you like live music. There is a ton of live releases that are coming out for Record Store Day 2025. I'll probably talk about this in the past, and I'll probably continue to talk about it up until the day I got a pile of new releases in my lap from Record Store Day 2025. I am trying my darndest to whittle that list down. Also, as far as music news goes, unfortunately, it seems like it's like a daily thing that there's always a passing. Someone's passing. We lost Roberta Flack, one of the great voices in music and R&B and soul. Her big song was "First Time I Ever Saw Your Face," which can be talked about as far as being a child or even someone that you fell in love with. Oddly enough, from reading about Roberta Flack, what I found out was that song was written about the first time she saw her cat. Of all things, isn't that crazy? Another big loss in music, especially if you're into glam and punk and you have affinity for that. David Johansen, Mr. Buster Poindexter, legendary lead singer of the iconic New York Dolls. Huge in the New York music scene back in the early 70s, and then David solo in the 80s, having gone solo as David Johansen and also as Buster Poindexter, his alter ego. David had an amazing career. He passed away at 75. He had been battling cancer for a while, and he succumbed to cancer earlier this week. Rest in peace to both him and Roberta Flack. As far as the Dolls go, I have pretty much all their stuff on CD. Don't have anything on vinyl, which I thought was weird. I thought I had the first one on vinyl, but apparently I don't. I actually wouldn't physically check my collection as opposed to just looking on Discogs like I tend to do, because sometimes Discogs lies to me, or sometimes I don't log stuff into Discogs that I have, and then I find that's like, oh, I have this album. But anyhow, if you're a casual listener, or if you just want to try and get into the Dolls, this is a great way to start. This is the gateway drug, as they say, to the New York Dolls. It's a greatest hits collection. It's called Rock and Roll. And, like I said, they were hugely influential. You have the song Personality Crisis. You have Babylon, Looking for a Kiss, Vietnamese Baby, Frankenstein, and Jet Boy. All right. Jet Boy, the band Jet Boy took their name from New York Dolls song Jet Boy. So you have that. So rest in peace, Mr. David Johansen. Thank you for all the cool tunes over the years, including stuff like Hot, Hot, Hot. Great stuff. Just a huge, huge personality. No personality crisis with him. Other things going on, all right? Before we get into Mr. DLR, the only other new release that I have for you is The Cure. Right, and this is Troxy London 2024. It's the Songs of a Live World. So what they did here, right, and we'll take a look at everything. There's the back with all the song titles there, and Mr. Smith with his magnificent head of goth hair. What they did was they recorded their new album, and they put it in a live setting. So it's the whole last album reproduced track for track live. And the cool thing was with this is that they're taking all the money, all the proceeds that they're getting from this, right, and they're donating to the charity War Child. So that's very cool. This was recorded back last year, and it was they played in front of 3,000 fans. So for them, an intimate venue, for the Cure. As far as the vinyl goes, it's basic black, nothing really to see there. And if you dig the Cure, you already have the last album. If you want to check it out in a live fashion, it does translate very well live, and it is a pretty damn good live album. As I said, you may want to check that out. Just came out. Songs for a Live World. Songs of a Live World, The Cure, Troxy London 2024. All right, so let's get to the main event. What we came here for, the unboxing of David Lee Roth's first 5 albums. Or I should say EP in first 4 albums. So this is it. I was kind of I could say maybe a little disappointed with the packaging on the box. You've got all the albums listed there with the track listings, but the albums themselves, they have what, it's truth in advertising. It has exactly what you'd want to have. They faithfully reproduced all the albums and the sleeves, and this is, this is what we got here. First thing we have, the EP that started it all for Mr. Roth's solo career, and that is Crazy from the Heat. And it's got the 4 tracks on here. There's a picture of Dave right there with a pretty nifty haircut for him at the time. With Easy Street, Just a Gigolo, California Girls, and Coconut Grove. And if you remember, the videos, especially for California Girls, just really great. A lot of fun. Outstanding stuff. Pretty plain labels, black, black vinyl. All this whole entire set is nothing but black vinyl, but that's fine. It's cool by me. When you get stuff in color, it's great. If not, who cares? As long as it sounds good and it's what you want to listen to. So then after that, when it was the final division with the boys in Van Halen, he got around to recruiting some real heavy hitters and released this gem, Eat 'Em and Smile. He also released it in Spanish, called it Sonrisa San Salve, Eat 'Em and Smile. And this had some fantastic videos. Dave was always a larger-than-life person, still is. The videos, especially for like Yankee Rose, with the opening of him being in character, walking into the bodega, give me a bottle of anything and give me a glazed donut and a bottle of anything to go. Really great. And got Shy Boy, I'm Easy, Ladies Night in Buffalo, Going Crazy, Tobacco Road, which was a recycled tune from Billy Sheehan's band Talus, Elephant Gun, Big Trouble, Bump and Grind, and a cover of That's Life. And really top-notch guys in the band. You got Billy Sheehan on bass and Steve Vai on guitar, as well as Greg Bissonette on drums. You have the other side of the album there. And what they did, which was pretty cool, got your basic label there. And there we go. Diamond Dave. All right. As he used to say, live, naked, live before your steaming eyes. And this is a fantastic album. It's one of those albums that I listen to, at least once every, 4 to 5 months, because it's so damn good. I mean, the recordings are fantastic, and it's like you sit there and goes like, well, how is he gonna top, or how is he gonna match Eddie Van Halen? Well, you go out and you get Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan. That's how you do it. And this album really was an incredible album. I got to see him on this tour, and it was at the old Nassau Coliseum, or as we referred to it here in New York, the Nassau Mausoleum. And I remember me and my buddies from high school were really jacked about going to see the show. And part of the reason was not only seeing this live and hearing what he was going to do with old Van Halen tunes and what they could pull from, from Vai and from Sheehan, but also the opening act. It's the 80s, so Andy Taylor from Duran Duran had released his live album, his first album, Thunder, and we were expecting Andy Taylor to be the opening, as it said on the ticket. So we end up finding out when we get there, Andy Taylor's not there. And we see all this merch, some band, never heard of them before, I'm like, who the hell are these guys? Some band called Tesla, whatever they were called, Tesla, right? So we go and see them and completely blown away by Tesla. First time, the album had only been out, I think, a couple of weeks. No one even knew who the hell they were. To put it mildly, there was a run on the merch stand for Tesla stuff, myself included. Somewhere in the archives is that Tesla t-shirt from back in the Mechanical Resonance days. They were outstanding. They held their own. They held their own versus Roth, Vi, and Sheen. That says something. They were phenomenal live. And that was on the Eat 'em and Smile tour out of Nassau. Then, next one in the collection, Skyscraper. I also dug this album a lot. I had the first single off this, which was Just Like Paradise. He also had Knuckle Bones. Just Like Paradise had a great video. Bottom line, Skyscraper. One of my favorite songs of all time is on this too. That is Damn Good. And especially now that Eddie is gone, when you hear Damn Good and you think about what probably went through Dave's mind when he wrote the song lyrically about looking back, fondly of where he'd been. You got, of course, more goofiness from Dave with Hot Dog and a Shake. Stand Up. Hina's a pretty cool track. Perfect Timing. And Two Fools a Minute. Lyrics and liner notes there. Part of the Skyscraper Mountainscape there. And this is, basic black. Cool label. Matches the sleeve, the inner sleeve, so you got that. And now this is where things you start getting to a little dangerous territory with Roth on the last two. Not so much that it's not good stuff, but it's the fact that times had changed. Nirvana, the comet came, and there was changes in the way music was listened to as far as what was cool and what wasn't. And 1991, time of the comet, right? David Lee Roth, A Little Ain't Enough. Still a lot of good tracks on this one. Got your liner notes right there and your lyrics. And you also have what looks like Dave getting eaten by a shark, I would assume. And, basic. Nothing spectacular to look at as far as the vinyl itself goes, just basic black. But as far as the track listing goes, you have A Little Ain't Enough, pretty good song, kicks it off. Shoot It, it's okay. Lady Luck, okay. Hammerhead Shark, kind of goofy, silly, David Lee Roth stuff. Tell the Truth, I dig. Babies on Fire's all right. 40 Below. Sensible Shoes is kind of another odd lyrical song from Dave, but for some reason I dig it. Last Call. Dogtown Shuffle. It's Showtime, probably the best track on this album. And Drop in the Bucket. Still got some great guitar work going on here. But not it's not to the level, in my opinion, as the EP and the first two albums, which were, better. I mean, he did have Jason Becker on guitar, but it's not the same chemistry in my mind as far as having Vi on board. Then you finally get to the last one in the box, all right? And that is Your Filthy Little Mouth. And at this point, times have definitely changed. You got your lyrics and line notes there, right? Track listing, all that stuff. And this is, as basic gets. All right. And as far as the track listing goes, for me, you got She's My Machine, which kicks it off, which is a good tune. Everybody's Got the Monkey. Big Train I always dug. Experience, A Little Luck. Cheating Heart Cafe, Hey, You Never Know. That's okay. Then side 2, No Big Thing. You're Breathing It. Title track, Your Filthy Little Mouth. My favorite track off of this, especially lyrically, is Land's End. Then you've got Sunburn, and they even include the bonus track from the CD, You're Breathing It, the Urban New York City mix. And oddly enough, this was produced by all people, Nile Rodgers, right? Now, I mentioned Steve Vai, earlier, and this was kind of cool. Got a phone call this week from a good friend of mine, a guy by the name of Don Adams. Don is an editor, right? He edits films and, does all sorts of work in the movie industry and in editing. And he called me up like a kid on Christmas morning, totally excited. And it got me excited. Why? Because coming soon, hopefully sooner than later, my good buddy Don has the fortune of editing what is going to be the Beat Tour. That's right. Steve Vai doing the music of King Crimson. Tour wrapped up. It's they're in kind of a little bit of vacation period. So you have Adrian Belew and Steve Vai, guitar and vocals, guitar, along with Tony Levin, the master on bass. Um, can't really go wrong there with that. That is being part of the lineup, and it's supported by some guy, Danny Carey from Tool. He's an okay drummer. Yeah, so it's monstrous. And Don and I were talking, and neither one of us got a chance to see the tour. For some reason or other, both of us thought, maybe we'll catch it when it comes back around. And from my conversation with my boy Don, it's like, we made a mistake. We should have gone. He was, he called me within like hours of getting the raw footage, and he watched a little bit of it. And from the conversation I had with him, it was basically sounded like his jaw was on the floor the entire time that he started digging through all the files to start editing this thing. So, keep an eye out for that later in the year, hopefully by year's end. I got a couple more things to show you real quick. The only things missing from the Roth collection that they didn't put on vinyl, obviously, you have the 2 albums that he didn't do with Warner, and then you have also you have the other one that that's a greatest hits package. So you have this, all right. This is the only other one that's available on vinyl currently, all right. And this is Diamond Dave, all right. You can tell the Motor Being was CD only at the point. You got your liner notes in there. There's no lyrics. They advertise this as purple. All right, purple. Okay. Doesn't really look very purpley to me. It's kind of like a transparent, like almost maybe pinkish purple. But whatever, is what it is. Who cares? And this is actually for a late day David Lee Roth album. Not bad. It's like it's got You Got the Blues, Not Me, which is a pretty cool tune. Made Up My Mind, Stay Well the Night Is Young, Shoe Bop, typical David Lee Roth stuff. She's Looking Good. Soul Kitchen, great version of Soul Kitchen. Side 2 kicks off with If 6 Was 9, the Jimi Hendrix tune, which he really does a really slowed down, like bluesy, sleazy version of that. Cover a couple Beatles tune called That Beatles Tune. Medicine Man, which is good. Let It All Hang Out. Thug Pop, Act 1. Ice Cream Man on this is excellent, and Bad Habits. As far as the rest of the stuff from Dave, the stuff that wasn't released, it's the stuff that's on CD, and we'll just take a look at that real quick before we call it a day. So you have the greatest hits package. If you're not a huge fan of Roth, this, if you can find it, this is a great place to get your DLR fix. And it's got everything. It's a greatest hits package as it should be, and it's got a new recording on here from that's not on any of these called "Don't Piss Me Off," and then the rest of it reads like a greatest hits package of all the stuff that was put out as it should be, because that's what it is. And the other thing is the DLR band. All right, and if I remember correctly, Terry Kilgore is the guitarist on this one, and this had some good stuff. And just because I'm a completist with stuff, I would love for them to release these 2 on vinyl just so I could have it all. And they have Slam Dunk, great tune, Blacklight, Counterblast, Lose the Dress, Keep the Shoes, Little Texas, King of the Hill, Going Places, What Was That, Relentless, Indeedy Do, Right Tool for the Job, Tight, Weekend with the Babysitter, and Black Sand. So that is everything there as far as Mr. Roth goes. So that's that. Music is starting to heat up again with a lot of new releases coming out in March. So, stay tuned. Come back. Check it out. As I always say, thank you for checking out. And peace, one love, and music. I'm out. Have a great week, everybody.